In this tutorial we're going to learn how to vector, and vectoring is a very useful way to make pre-made images without losing quality. That isn't really explained right, but let me show you rather than telling you. So create a new flash file, ActionScript 3.0, import any file to the stage, and it's loading, give it a minute. And just so you know that you can pretty much vector anything yourself. You can vector already made pictures, or you can just create from scratch. And so get a very simple picture, very simple cartoon. Let's put this on the stage. Let's name this original. Oops, my bad. Original. Make a new layer and call this vector. Lock the original, and let's get started. Well, unlock the original, but okay. First of all, if you were to get your free transform tool and try to make this bigger, if you were to keep making it bigger and bigger, you see that we have all these pixelated corners right here, and it's a bit sloppy, and it's not really that great. As you can see everywhere, it's sloppy. If we wanted to make this unsloppy and make it as big as we want, as many times, without trying to refine it, we can just make a vector of it. So lock this layer, and I'm going to show you what a vector is. Let's show a square really quick with, let's see, hold on, let me make this, let's put this to 9, and let's make any color, doesn't matter what color. Let's zoom in on this. If you were to, now you see that the roundness of the mouse is a bit pixelated, and if you were to go to our shape, you see that it's perfectly not pixelated, no matter how many times we zoom in. Whether it's 2000%, as you can see, it's not pixelated at all because it's vectored. Everything you draw in Flash is vectored unless you import it to the stage. So pretty much Flash is 100% vector, and it's line based. Vectoring is line based, remember that. If it's line based, it's vectored, and so instead of using pixels, it uses lines and mathematics to make its images. And let's start vectoring. To vector, you need your pen tool. Use the stroke black. You can always change it, don't worry. And let's think about how we want to vector this. Where do we want to vector first? The tail, the ears, the eyes, the nose, the whiskers, the whole body. I'm going to vector this whole thing, and it's pretty simple to do. Here's how you do it. The first thing we're going to do is the tail. So let's zoom in on the tail. Create a point. Any point, doesn't matter. And we're going to start right here and try to copy the lines of this little shade right here, because that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to make that shade. So make it a little round here. And as you can see, I'm having a bit of difficulties. Hold on. I'm going to switch. I'm going to undo this really quick and move to the side a bit. And try this again. Let me go back to the point right here. Draw a pen tool right here, the point right here. Let's make, I'm doing this wrong. Okay. Make a point right there. Let's make this round. And as you can see, you're gonna try to make that round. And don't worry about the stroke. And then let's finish his tail. If you were to try to make the curve, you would see that we're having a hard time right here making the curve. It's not going to come out the way we want it to. To have more freedom with what we want, you're going to click the point, the last point that you made, and now you're only going to have one handle, and that's only going to control this little curve right here. And we pretty much have complete control on this curve right now. So if we were to make a point, you'd see that we have full control now. It's a lot smoother. So let's keep going. Click the point so then you don't get that unnecessary curve. Make that curve that you want. Now let's finish it. Remember, click. Just keep clicking and clicking. We're almost done. And don't worry about the thickness. Oops, hold on, that's a mistake. Okay, we're almost done. 2 more points. Keep making this. Okay, now we're done. Now get your paint bucket tool. Select the color. Use the color from this tail, the shade. And let's fill it. And you probably want to use gap size, close large gaps, and fill it. And now you see that it's filled. It doesn't look that great, but trust me, it's gonna be. The next thing we want to do is, since the shade doesn't have any strokes on it, double click the stroke and delete it. And now we only have the fill. And you can always edit this later, and I'll teach you how to do that in a minute. So if we were to go back to 100%, delete this. I thought I deleted it. You'd see there's not really much of a difference, but that's pretty much how you vector something. You just use the pen tool and just make lines and strokes and whatever you want. So I'm going to vector this whole thing really quick, and you'll see what happens when I. Now you see that I have my my vectors done, and they're pretty much the same. If I were to make this bigger with the transform tool, pixelated. If I were to try this with the vector I made, it doesn't come out pixelated, but as you can see, I did kind of a rough job with this. You kind of want to do with an easier job and take your time with it. I didn't take my time. I kind of just rushed it for this video, as you can see. And if you were to zoom in, you'd see these lines are very, very smooth. And the reason you'd want to vector is that, let's say that you had a logo and you made the image, but someday you someone's gonna ask you to make their image way bigger, like a banner for a building on the side of a building, and you only made the image for, let's say, a business card. And so that if you were to resize the picture, it would be pixelated, but if you were to vector it, it would become easier to stretch it out without losing quality of the image you made. And so it's pretty useful in pretty much all the situations. You don't have to keep making the image over and over again or trying to figure out how to make it bigger. You can just vector it once, save it, and you can reuse it over and over again. It's pretty useful to use. So that's how vectoring works. Thanks for watching.